So the benefit of empathy is that it can help you get rid of resentments.
Empathy can help you get rid of resentment. Resentment feels pretty poisonous to me, especially if it shows up in the form of grudges and refusal to forgive, or yeah, that kind of thing. You know, the form where I hear someone's name mentioned in conversation with someone else, and immediately in me just comes up resentment because I remember what she did to me, and you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and, know that.
Yeah, and you know, meanwhile, she or he, whoever that is, that person, they don't know that I'm feeling it. It's not affecting them necessarily in any way that I'm sure of, but I am sure that it's affecting me. Like, that feels a very poisonous thing. Like, I was just going along chatting with my friend, and they suddenly say, "Hey, I saw Sarah the other day," and suddenly I'm like, you know, and so I do kind of want to. I want to pay attention to that. I don't want to just try and shut it down, because there it is. It's a powerful thing. Resentment is a powerful force that's coming up in me. I don't want to try and like bury it, because I don't trust that that's actually useful for me. But empathy would be something which can go in two directions, right? We can talk about self-empathy, which is really taking an interest in oneself. And so that would be like, why is this resentment still here? You know, what is that about? Like, what? I get that things happened in the past, but why now do I still have this strength of feeling every time her name is mentioned? What is it that's about? What was I wanting at the time that I didn't get? What am I wanting now that I'm still not getting? You know, maybe something that she did really at the time felt really harsh to me, and like I wasn't being met with care or respect or understanding or something like that. Okay, well, what about today? Is there care and respect and understanding happening in my life today? Quite aside from the person I'm resentful about, like, what about now? You know, maybe my resentment is actually drawing to my attention that those same unmet needs that I associate with her are actually still unmet needs to some extent today, and I can do something about that, completely independent of this person I feel resentful towards. I can take action. And so that's one part of it, is like the empathy towards myself when resentment occurs. And then the other part of it is, well, just imagine that this resentment was not here, and I was actually able to sit and listen to her about what her experience was back when whatever it was happened. What would she say? And what was she trying to achieve in her life when those things occurred, which I now feel so resentful about? You know, was she just trying to be loved, or to be understood, or to manage her own fear about things, or her own pain, or suffering, or whatever kind? You know, who knows what it was? What do I know? What it was? Am I interested in what it was? Have I given any attention to the human experience of the person that I feel resentful about? Maybe I don't want to, because the very fact of feeling resentment says to me, I don't care about her. I don't care about trying to connect with one. You know, she doesn't even deserve my attention and my empathy or something. That's the kind of thinking which can come with resentment, and all very well, but unfortunately, that thinking is itself poisonous and toxic to me to be carrying around. I think it's not making me enjoy life. It's not making me fun to be around. It's sapping my energy. And so you could say, in a certain sense, out of pure self-interest even, kind of doing some kind of empathy for the other person, even in their absence. She's not coming into my presence. I don't want that. But I can be wondering about what's going on for her just as if she was here. And I can be wondering about what went on for her back at that time when those things happened, just as if she was here talking to me about it. It's the same process, really. And And that I found sometimes I have to repeat it multiple times with certain things which happen with certain individuals. It's not a clear shot. It's not a simple one-time deal. With some people it is, like something happens, I'm upset about it, I do a little bit of empathy for me and for them, and I'm clear. I don't think about it anymore. Their name can get mentioned, or I can bump into them in the street, or I can hang out with them. Maybe we clear it and we become friends again. But in other cases, it might require multiple repetitions. You know, maybe for years I feel the resentment, and gradually over time, by meeting my own resentment with empathy towards myself, presence, care towards myself, and also towards the other person, repetition of that gradually takes away the sting, takes away the poison of resentment. And who knows from there? I mean, like all sorts of things are possible. It doesn't mean necessarily that you want anything to do with that person or that situation or anything again. Who knows? But other things are possible too. Sometimes all sorts of amazing reconnections can happen after resentment. We know this. Sometimes there's a possibility of great renewed friendship or connection or whatever. So that's possible too.
Yeah, so it's really what I was saying there is it's the resentment is a painful, stressful experience in oneself, and that there's different ways of addressing that with empathy. One I was hearing is to empathize with yourself, to really hear what's going on inside yourself, and also to do kind of a role playing. Was that what you were saying? Is with the other person, you're kind of imagining and doing kind of a role playing, an empathic role playing, hearing what was going on for them. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you are. Yeah, it's going to be imagination probably. You're just imagining what would they say, and even if they would say it harshly or in a critical tone or something, what's underneath that? How are they feeling? Like what are they left with from what happened? You know, that kind of thing. And it can be, in the first instance, I would say that if I do that, again, I made that comment about self-interest. I mean, I'm saying it lightly, but I really feel like even if you don't feel loving feelings towards the other person or something like that, the resentment is there. That's what you feel towards them, is resentment. But still, there's some kind of release, softening that can happen inside of here if I actually care to wonder about the humanity of the other person and what's going on inside of them. The softness happens here. They don't even know I'm doing it. Maybe it makes no difference to them one way or the other, but to me it makes a difference. You know, I get a softer experience of life.
Well, I know that from myself. I've had resentment, even actually with people here in the Bay Area with NVC participants, right? And I had this resentment about, you know, a situation, and every time I think about the person, it's like this energy comes up and this agitation and irritation and you know, if I'm talking to someone saying, oh, this person's really, you know, problematic, has problems and all that. And then I actually did like an empathy session with someone about it, where I was actually sharing, saying, well, this was my experience, this is what happened, and all they did was give me empathy, do empathic listening. And we went for like 45 minutes, and it's like it just slowly unwound to the point now I actually have a little bit of a tenderness feeling for that person. Right. You know, it's like, oh, that, you know, I kind of worked it through, I got heard about it, I kind of imagined what was going on for them, perhaps. Yeah. So that's another way, is to be heard and receive empathy, have kind of an empathic dialogue with someone else. And then so it kind of healed, it kind of freed me up and gave me more space in terms of even thinking about this person. And then I've seen other processes that are empathic dialogue process with the person you're in conflict with. Yeah. You know, like a restorative empathy circle, where you're actually doing empathic listening with each other, and you really sit and heal. And you know, I've been doing that in my family. There's been family conflicts, and there's resentments, and people are talking behind each other's backs, you know, trying to get alliances, saying how bad this person is. You know, there's all these resentments coming up, and then you sit people down, get them talking, you know, empathizing with each other, and like the resentments kind of melt away, and there's a sense of connection and warmth that can come out of it.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. can be quite simple, and it doesn't necessarily. Sometimes people are hesitant about doing this because they say, "Well, I definitely don't want to get back together with that person," or "I definitely don't want to carry on collaborating with that person professionally. I don't trust that would work, or I don't trust them, or whatever it might be." And I always say, "Okay, that's fine. No, there's no empathy does not require you to then carry out some particular action." Removing your resentment doesn't mean that you need to then go and put yourself in positions which feel harmful to you or difficult or exhausting or whatever. That's okay. There's nothing implied in terms of there's something that you necessarily then need to do. You're simply making use of empathy as a powerful tool to remove resentment from your own experience, because it's a painful thing to be carrying.
Mm. So what I was hearing there is that some people say that they're concerned about getting rid of their resentments. They might feel pressure to relate to this person afterwards, and they don't want to be kind of pushed or pressured into relating with this person. And you're saying you don't have to. It's just about your own self and kind of getting more space and less stress and tension within yourself. Right,
and then perhaps we move on parallel tracks in life. We don't really have much to do with each other, or a family member even, so I see them at Thanksgiving. But when I see them at Thanksgiving, I no longer have this kind of painful reaction the second they walk in the door or something, because I've done the empathy for myself and for them, and perhaps, like you say, had an empathic dialogue with them or something, where we're really listening to each other. But that's not even necessarily essential in all cases, right? And now they can walk in the room, and I'm just like, there they are. We're going to hang out. We're going to eat a meal together, and it's no longer a painful experience for me. I'm not tense. I'm not on edge. So.
Yeah, and going into the physicality of it, is that tension and stress in the body has physiological effects, I think, in terms of health, which is a whole other benefit in terms of the health benefits of empathy, that we want to have a more of a calm, relaxed way of being for our own personal health as well.
Yeah.